This program is a collaboration of personal opinions and individual free thought. It does not represent the views or narrative of the mainstream corporate media hacks. Viewer discretion is advised.
And here we go.
Live from the bell tower, taking a stand for your rights, your liberties, and all the bullshit in between. You're listening to Break the Bell Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of week again. It is the weekend, which means it's time for the weekend wrap-up, obviously.
Obviously. Hello, beautiful bell breakers. It is great to be here to wrap up the weekend.
It is.
Yes.
You didn't sound very convincing.
No?
Try again.
All right. Hello, beautiful bell breakers.
Whoa, okay. All right. All right, that was good. That was better. How's your weekend going?
Good.
You're wearing
good.
your dressy shoes, which means that you did something other than this today. Because usually you show up in like your sweatpants and
I don't.
like
You're the
flip-flops
sweatpant guy. I'm the
flip
always
flops
gym
and
jeans. No, just been busy. We, my daughter's birthday month, so it seems like there's something always going on every weekend. And
does she force you to celebrate like the whole month or something?
Basically,
or like
yes.
what's going on
Yes.
there? It's like,
Yes.
well,
She
this month
has
is
to-
my daughter's birthday,
Yes.
so obviously it's going to be busy.
Yes, she has her friend's party, then the party where it's just us, where we usually go out to eat and hit the pumpkin patch, and then she has her family party with her uncles and aunts and cousins and stuff.
I feel like she is kind of milking this thing out.
Yeah, a little bit. But to be fair, she learned it from me.
Okay. All right,
Because
fair
when my
enough.
birthday month comes, it's like, hey, it's my birthday month. I'm going to go do this. So.
I mean, that's fair. Don't you do that all month, so you're like,
Well,
it's
basically,
it's a
yes.
month. I'm going to
Yeah.
go do
Yeah,
something.
It's my quarter birthday month, so I'm
Yes.
going to, yes.
Obviously.
You
So
got, if you don't, who's going to, you know?
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Yes.
And it's Halloween month. Halloween is right around the corner,
Yes,
and I'm
which is
excited
insane.
for that. Yeah.
Yes. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I think it's officially. I think I can say now that baseball season for me is officially over. I can
Yeah.
finally say, unfortunately, summer is over because I mean, it's not.
But-
I wouldn't say it's cold as fuck out, but for the standard of what it's
Yeah.
been, it's not comfortable out for
Yeah.
me. I don't
my
enjoy
kids
it.
are I think in winter mode at this point. Like
why?
they're like running from the car to the house and they're like, "It's so cold, Dad." And I'm like, "It's fall.
That was-
it feels fine."
That was me today, actually.
Yeah.
I was just like, it's too freaking cold. This is stupid. And in a month from now, we're going to be like, man, I wish it was that temperature it was
Yeah,
back in
right.
October. But yeah, unfortunately, baseball ended too
But
abruptly.
with them extending the season, if your team went all the way, then you wouldn't have celebrated fall until November.
I would be okay with that, though. I would be all right with that. So
You'd be lying to yourself.
no. So it's sad. A moment of silence for the St. Louis Cardinals, who got knocked out of the playoffs. It was last weekend, but
Yeah.
still, it's sad.
It still hurts.
It still
I know
hurts,
that.
yes.
Yes.
So, we're not going to talk about sports today, but I mean, as much as I would love to, I had a busy weekend too. I helped a friend who has a DJ company, DJ a wedding. I mean, by helping, I mean I helped him set up, and then
Yeah.
I stood there and hung out and drank the free beer and
Yeah.
ate the free food for like 11 hours straight,
Yeah.
and then went home before it was even time to tear down the equipment. So.
Oh, you didn't even help tear
No,
down?
I didn't even help
Oh,
tear
wow.
down because my wife had to work. So I was like,
Yeah.
man, it's 11 o'clock. I got to go home. My kids are at home. And he's like, well, that sucks. I was like, I'm sorry. This is just going way too long. But weddings are so interesting when they're not your own. I mean,
Yeah.
when
they're your
it's
own,
your
they're
own, but when it was your own, it was just so like everything was like, I don't know, just everything was so
Yeah.
much tension. And it's kind of like going to a live concert. It's just like the build up to it's so big,
Yeah.
and then it's just so quick and over with. And you look back on it like, did that actually just happen? You know,
Right,
when you
yeah.
see like your favorite band, or like when we went to Elton John, I feel like, I mean, that was like an hour and a half concert,
Yeah, right.
but it feels like it went like that. And
Yeah.
then almost immediately you're looking back like, did that really happen? It was just kind of a blur.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like your wedding. But going to other people's weddings, especially when you don't have a vested interest in the family whatsoever,
Right.
it's just interesting to people watch because... Especially when it comes to the dance floor, because watching white people dance and knowing the songs that get white people going is just hilarious. Because my buddy who's the DJ, I can't even remember the song, but he's like, watch this song. He's like, I have no idea why, but this song gets white girls dancing. And it was some like alt rock, like early 2000 song. I don't even remember what it was, but as soon as he hit it, it was just like the white girls flocked onto the dance floor. It's just like, dude, what the hell? And it's just interesting. I actually saw a guy that looked exactly like Jeffrey Dahmer yesterday on the dance floor, and I sent you.
You did,
video.
yeah. And I was like, oh, did he dress up like that on purpose? And you're like, I don't think so.
I don't know if it was his looks, his dress, or his personality, or a combo of all of it. But
he seemed like he would eat people.
Yeah, and then so I pointed him out to my buddy. I'm like, look at this guy here. This guy looks like a young Jeffrey Dahmer without glasses. He's just like, don't say that. and then so I got my laugh. And then all of a sudden I see him off to the side at a table with just hanging out with another dude, and I'm just like, oh, that guy's not making it home tonight. And he's just like, dude, shut up. So that was my weekend, and then today I just had a bunch of bullshit to deal with.
Yeah.
So I haven't sat down. This is like the first I've sat down all weekend. So, and here I am talking to you people. So we got to get into some stuff. We got a bunch of stuff to cover. We've got like hunters luring bears with donuts. We've got Kanye West being anti-Semitic. Let's see what else is on the list. We've got France being France,
of course,
Sweden being Sweden, and Saudi Arabia like breaking, kind of having a nasty
They've
breakup.
Kind of become
with
the
US.
redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, what the hell's going on there? So we got a few things to cover. Before we do, obviously, we got to mention our sponsor, which is Run Your Mouth Coffee. They make delicious coffee while supporting your right to free speech. And, I mean, those are two awesome things, two American things. Hence the name Run Your Mouth Coffee. They support your right to run your mouth, be able to say shit that you want to say, get into a heated debate without fear of getting deplatformed or canceled or thrown in prison or whatever. They just support your right to free speech, which everybody should support. That is why we started the show to begin with, was under the guise of free speech. Our whole slogan, "Never Stop Talking." That's where that comes from. So. Go to rymcoffee.com. Tell them we sent you. By using the promo code BreakTheBell, you'll get 10% off your purchase, plus free shipping, and that's an awesome deal, and that's America for you in a nutshell. Delicious coffee, free speech, discounts. America. Yes, rymcoffee.com. Make sure you check us out all over social media. You can find us on the big ones, which is Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all at the handle Break the Bell Pod. Go like it, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff we tell you to do every single week. Make sure you're doing it. Like, pause the show right now and go do that, because that's how we get our name around there. That's how we become bigger and better, and that's how Bill's phone goes off in the middle of shows.
Always.
Maybe if we get bigger and better, Bill will realize that he should put his phone on silent. So go like and subscribe, share, all that stuff. Check out our online store, which is breakthebell.bigcartel.com, or you can find links to it at breakthebellpod.com. You can find awesome shirts like our I Won't Eat Your Bug shirt, our We Are Not Your Pawn shirt. We've got the Is This Shirt Even Real shirt, and then our logo stuff, all kinds of fun stuff out there. So make sure you go check that out. That's breakthebell.bigcartel.com, or go to breakthebellpod.com and find links to all this stuff that I'm telling you about, because that's awesome. There was something else. I don't remember. If I think about it, I'll come back to it.
Okay.
Let's get into the news. Now that we've got all that stuff out of the way, it's time to wrap up the week in the news. This first story here, I don't know what my thoughts are on this. The fact that it made CNN headlines
tells you one thing. Right?
Well, it made it enough that we're like, well, I guess we got to talk about this. Apparently, a New York hunter is charged with illegally using donuts as bait to attract bears. What's your thought on that?
Well, first of all, I feel like he's I mean, he must really want bears to risk his donuts.
Yeah, who gives a freaking donuts? What kind of donuts were these? First of all?
Exactly. I mean, I would buy a salmon, right? Save the donuts.
Is that legal though to bait bears with salmon?
I don't think you can bait bears with anything, especially in New York.
That my whole theory on this is, why not? Why can't you bait?
Right. I
Like
agree.
we bait fish.
Yeah. Well, and people like, I know my dad's a deer hunter and he'll grow corn.
Yeah, well, here in Iowa, you can't bait them with corn. I don't think.
Really?
I don't think so. If you know, let us know because I don't think you can bait deer.
Probably not.
But you can spray deer piss all over yourself.
Right. Yeah.
You know what's worse? I mean, what's worse for the animal? Think about this. All right. So you put out a few donuts for a bear. The bear comes.
Yeah.
And
Eat some
attracted.
donuts.
He eats some donuts. Is satisfied for a brief moment before you shoot and kill him.
Yeah.
Or you spray deer piss all over yourself. A horny ass deer comes up looking for a good time.
Like,
doesn't get a good time. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
Well, maybe he does. I mean, how long do you wait until?
It depends on what state it is.
I guess yes, but again, you bait the deer with the smell of horny deer piss.
Yeah.
The deer is just like looking for a good time,
Yeah.
comes up and you shoot him before he gets to.
That's some bullshit, actually.
Right.
Right?
I mean,
how would you feel if that was you?
I feel better for the bear who at least got to
Right?
have one final meal of donuts
Yes.
before he gets shot than the deer that's like, I'm really, really wanting some right now, and then bang, gets shot.
Yeah,
It's
right?
like,
Be like, wait. Oh, this is some bull.
yeah, exactly. Doesn't even get to
Yeah.
have that last few minutes of fulfillment, I guess. I hopefully not. Like you said, depending on the state.
Depends on the state
I don't
and
know.
the hunter.
So let's read what this says. Because I don't think you can really say much more about it than this is bullshit. Says, you attract more bees with honey and more bears with donuts, apparently.
Don't you hate when writers wax poetic on shit like this?
Yes, I mean,
It's like, just give the facts.
yeah,
man.
just let's go to it. A New York hunter has been ticketed after he allegedly used donuts in an attempt to lure bears. How do you prove that, first of all?
Yeah, and be like, no, man, I just dropped a donut. I came back for it.
I left some donuts out in the
Yeah.
woods. I was coming back to eat them later. Police at the department hiked many miles for multiple days before they found several areas what led them out there to begin with,
It sounds like a slow day.
right? Because they hiked several miles
Yeah.
for multiple days before finding several areas which seemed to be baited with donuts. The release explained. Hunting black bears is legal in selected zones and seasons in New York, but hunters are not permitted to use any kind of bait to attract bears. So there goes your salmon theory.
Right.
Donuts had been placed in and around trees, including inside tree stumps. Maybe
Maybe he just was hiding them for later.
Maybe he's hiding them from the
Yes.
bears. He's
Yes,
like, I don't want the
exactly.
bears to get this.
I'm
I'm
gonna hide it in the
stick
stump
tree.
where they can't get it.
Officers discovered a man using a bow to hunt for bears in the donut-studded area. He also had a large package of donuts in his backpack. Well, that's not smart.
No.
Like you already got the bears on the scent of donuts,
Right?
so then
Yeah.
you leave the remaining
in your
donuts
backpack.
in your backpack.
That sounds like a nightmare. And you got a bow and arrow.
Yes. At first, the hunter claimed, well, first of all, the fact that he's trying to hunt a bear with a bow and arrow, that takes some balls.
It does take some balls.
I mean,
yes.
you got to give this guy some credit,
Yeah.
for real. At first, the hunter claimed the donuts were for his own consumption, see? And that he dropped them, according to the release. He was ticketed for hunting bears with bait, failing to display a back tag, which is a tag hunters need to legally kill a bear, injuring trees on state land. How do you injure the trees? By sticking
putting donuts in there?
Littering on state land. Donuts are not littering.
Yeah.
It's biodegradable.
Exactly.
There are a lot of animals that would
Oh, heck
appreciate a
yeah.
good donut. And failing to label his hunting stands with his name and address. Man, New York fucking sucks.
New York does suck.
That's all. That's
Yeah.
all.
No,
It
they're-
doesn't say what led these police to. Did somebody come out and report that
Yeah.
somebody's baiting with donuts?
Well,
But
you would almost think that. I mean, how else does someone be like, oh, a donut?
let's
I
go
better
find the
track
donut
this out.
fiend.
Yeah, right.
The guy, the bear donut fiend.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it had to have been a slow day for New York police.
Yeah.
Police, no less. Not like.
It's probably, well, yeah, it would, yeah.
Because it doesn't
it's not
say.
like it doesn't say DNR
It doesn't say.
or
Maybe
Park
they
Police
don't
or
have DNR. I don't know. This is just. I don't
Yeah.
know. This is major overstepping of government. In
Does
my
it say
opinion.
where in New York? It doesn't.
a New York hunter. Police say doesn't. I don't see it. Just says New York's Department of Environmental Conservation, but no, it doesn't say where this was located. But you think slightly overreaching of the New York government there?
Yeah. And like you said, he's hunting with the bow and arrow, so it's not like,
it's not like he has an unfair advantage against the bear.
Exactly.
I mean, that's kind of the reasoning for like the don't bait animals type thing. It's like you're kind of at an unfair advantage. You're luring them in so you can off him with a shotgun or some shit like that. But this guy's got a bow and arrow. He's already at the disadvantage.
Exactly.
I don't think the donuts are going to push him over the top of having an advantage over a freaking bear.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I feel like at least he didn't. That would be some bullshit if he went to jail for that. But, but still.
It sounds like they charged the shit out of him, though.
Yeah, well, New York needs some money, I guess.
Yeah,
so
they do.
Let's go look for the bear donut guy. So I don't know. What made this guy think to hunt with donuts. Well, he was probably like, nobody's gonna freaking come out here and find my donuts.
Yeah.
And if they do, I'm just gonna say I dropped them.
Right. Yeah. You can't prove it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Except for.
Apparently, they don't need to prove it.
Yeah, right. It's like, sir, you have a 24-pack of donuts on your back, and you're missing half a dozen.
Now, what if the police were led on some wild goose chase out in the woods?
They were after the donuts.
No, maybe they had donuts, and the guy jumped out and scared them, and they dropped their donuts.
There you go.
And now they're pissed that they dropped their donuts, as police would be, and now they're like, looks like you're baiting bear with donuts down here, doesn't it? And he's like, dude, you just dropped that.
Yours.
He's like, I don't recall dropping this. And then they throw a donut at him and like, look, he's got the evidence in his hands.
He's got powdered sugar on his shirt.
Yes. That's probably more likely what happened.
What do you think,
in this
Herb?
Situation. I think we got a real problem on our hands.
That's a bear baiter.
He's a master bear baiter. I don't know. Let's move on. Speaking of throwing food willy-nilly on things and wasting perfectly good food, did you hear about this protest, the Stop Oil protest?
Yeah, that's pretty messed up.
It's involving soup and a famous painting and the
a priceless painting. It's not priceless anymore.
No, it's the price of the can of soup now, at least.
Yeah.
And the price of the canvas. So apparently some group called Just Stop Oil threw soup on a Van Gogh painting. What do you feel like they accomplished by doing this?
Yeah. You think their message got spread. Anybody's going to take them serious. And how do they get into a museum with a can of soup?
Right.
Don't they get checked for that kind of stuff?
I don't know. And
I don't know.
Did it have a pop top thing, or are they sitting there with a can opener like? It's like, sir, what are you doing over there? Just eating my soup. Oh, okay, you're fine. That's fine.
Wait, soup?
Eat that. Here's the image of these Just Stop Oil protesters. So,
both of them.
Give me your opinion so far.
First of all, they seem like they need lives. And second of all, again, why would they think that throwing soup at a Van Gogh painting is going to win anybody to their cause?
I mean, it does get attention, media attention on them, but it doesn't do literally anything else.
No, you being a consumer of oil, does this make you feel like you need to be aware of a oil problem?
No, because honestly, I don't give two shits about that Van Gogh painting at all.
Right.
The fact that people are, I mean, yes, it's historic, whatever, but the fact that people are willing to pay like hundreds of thousands of dollars for paintings, that I feel,
now,
I don't know.
No, if they did that on a Hunter Biden painting,
I would just laugh. That would be awesome. It'd probably be worth more.
Right.
Says the climate activists of Just Stop Oil have gained visibility since their Friday demonstration in which protesters threw Heinz tomato soup. We got to be specific. Not just any soup, but Heinz tomato soup.
Hold on. Okay. Have you seen tomato soup in a can?
Yeah, it's really thick and...
Yes. So they must have had some force throwing that They
It almost looks fake here.
yeah, and then
Or
they
maybe
must have rubbed it in.
Maybe they poured some water into it. I don't know.
They had
I
like
don't know.
a whole like whisk and water in the pan and
Yes.
stirred it.
Did they heat it up? Now that's the real question. Did they heat it up? Did they use? Is it milk or water based?
Make some grilled cheese sandwiches next to it.
That sounds delicious, actually.
Right?
It says on Saturday, the pair were joined in court by another Just Stop Oil supporter who had doused a Scotland Yard sign in yellow paint.
Well, see that's different.
Yeah. I mean,
that's not a big deal.
no. Members of the UK-based group. I mean, that says it all. They're
British.
They're British. That's
Yes.
British protesting for you.
You know, it would be bloody brilliant if we took this tomato soup and threw it on a Van Gogh.
Apparently, previously, they gained attention for gluing themselves to paintings at art galleries, blocking roads and racetracks.
Oh wow, they blocked a racetrack.
Yes.
That sounds interesting.
Again, what are you accomplishing?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like all the effort you put into this, you could have thought of something that might actually make some sort of a difference.
Yeah.
Says the activists say their goal is to ensure that the government commits to ending all new licenses and consents for the exploration, development, and production of fossil fuels in the UK. And so ending all licenses and consents for fossil fuels. Goes on to say the UK government earlier this month opened a new round of licensing for oil and gas exploration in the North Sea off of England's east coast. The protest movement says it practices nonviolent civil resistance, just annoyances, utter annoyances is what these are. It's not even, I wouldn't even call it civil resistance. It's just, I'm going to be a freaking annoying asshole.
Right.
For my cause.
I'm going to block a road, I'm going to block a racetrack, and I'm going to throw soup on a...
Or glue myself, too.
That's so
once
dumb.
they glued themselves to the painting, they're like, we didn't think this through.
Yeah. I think I would have just left them.
Yes.
And make them part of the exhibit.
Yep.
And to your right, we have two assholes from a protest group.
Right.
Everybody say hi, assholes.
Says through the spring, Just Stop Oil said its members were arrested more than 1,000 times during a months-long protest campaign in which people blocked oil terminals. I mean, see, that is doing something like against the thing that you're protesting.
Right, yes.
Not the painting. Maybe it was an oil painting. And they're like, well, it's oil.
There you go. I didn't even think about that.
Oil
Yes,
painting.
yes.
Let's throw soup on the oil painting.
To boycott oil. That makes sense.
I mean, when it takes us 15 minutes to figure out what the connection is.
Right, yes.
You know, people are standing there scratching their head like, what are you doing exactly? Most of the money, this is the fun part. Most of the money from its operation comes from the Climate Emergency Fund, based in L.A., which began with a foundational grant of $500,000 from Getty Oil heiress Eileen Getty.
So they're funded by an oil heiress?
That's what it looks like.
And so she got pissed because maybe her inheritance wasn't as big as she thought?
Maybe her daddy pissed her off or something. I don't know.
Like, fine, Dad.
I'm gonna
I hate your oil.
fund protests against your oil. Filmmaker Adam McKay made a $4 million contribution and joined its board of directors last month. Since the soup incident, the great soup caper of 2022, some critics have pointed out that Just Stop Oil accepts donations in cryptocurrency, which has a reputation for having a devastating impact on the environment because it burns a lot of electricity to mine cryptocurrency. So it's always funny to me when climate activists are funded by the cryptocurrency that is running on the power that they are so against. After gluing themselves to the National Gallery wall under the painting on Friday, one of the activists shouted, "What is worth more, art or life? Are you more concerned about the protection of a painting or the protection of our planet?" So what do you think? Because this just goes on to talk about the UK's energy crisis and shit that we already know about after this. And I don't care about that right now. I'm more concerned about the soup. Are you more devastated by the waste of the painting or the waste of the perfectly good tomato soup?
The waste of the soup.
I mean, we're also in a food shortage
right.
too.
They're going to wish they had that can
Yeah, they're
back
going to be like,
in about a year.
I really wish I had some Campbell's soup right now, or Heinz. I guess it's Heinz
it was
soup,
Heinz, which I didn't even know Heinz did tomato soup.
I don't know. Maybe
it's a British thing.
Yeah, it must be. I don't know. So
maybe they
final thoughts before we move on.
idiotic, and the news just probably should not have published anything about it just to make them. I mean, that would have hurt them more than anything.
Yeah, we're talking about it.
I know.
As we do.
Yes. So
Most-
Just Stop Oil is taking donations.
Most of the time,
Send them a can of soup.
Most of the time, we report on something and then ask the question, why is anybody even talking about this as we're talking about
Yes.
it? Because
Irony.
it's more hilarious to me. Oh,
Yes.
now what's worse, throwing donuts to bears to hunt them, or throwing soup on this oil?
You know, I
painting?
mean, I would donate a donut to see a bear up close.
To see a bear shot up close, though.
No,
or-
no, no. I wouldn't shoot the bear. I would just feed
You
it
want to
donuts.
bear hunt? Would you bear hunt?
You know, I would, but I think I would want it to be a little bit more fair. I like you said, baiting with donuts seems kind of like cheating.
It does, unless you have a bow and arrow, in my opinion. If you
Yeah.
have a bow and arrow,
But
then
see,
I feel like you have the
Yeah.
right to bait them with whatever the hell you want.
Okay.
If you're fit, if
I
you're
mean, the
hunting
only
with
thing
bow.
that would have made it more fair is if he just had to use like a hunter's knife, right? Then he had to fight the bear for the donut.
just fight for just put the donut in the middle and see who comes out on top.
Yeah.
I like it. But I want to see these protesters go throw soup at a bear and see
Yes.
what happens.
Yes,
that-
a grizzly bear.
that's the protest
Yes.
I'd like to see.
I would love to see that.
Oh man, it only gets worse from here. I forgot that it only gets worse
Yes.
because speaking of climate activists,
And they are no Greta Thunberg.
they're not, because Greta Thunberg is the most extraordinary teenager on the face of the planet, according to thetimes.co.uk.
Of course.
Yes. So, I don't know why. I just saw this headline. I'm like, I really feel like self-punishment today,
Yes.
so we got to read this
That
article.
is.
I feel like she's probably doing less. She's probably done less for climate
Yes.
than the activist that threw the tomato soup
Yes.
on the freaking painting.
Yes, she has become the pain in the ass of everybody. How old is she now? Is she still? I didn't know she was still a teen.
Well,
I
I
figured she
think
was like.
she's 19. This
Oh,
says.
okay. Okay. So she. Okay.
This says, this is what makes the sub cap headline here says, after saying that she's the most extraordinary teenager in the world, it says she's never been drunk, gives away her earnings, and can't imagine a normal future for herself. Caitlin Moran meets the remarkable climate change activist, still only 19. Shall we move on? Shall we keep going with this?
I feel like this is kind of like a train wreck, and I have to know what happens.
I mean, you got to. We got
Yes.
to. I got to try to zoom in on this shit first.
But
Go ahead.
okay, so she's extraordinary because she doesn't imagine a normal future for herself.
And she's never drank alcohol.
That's not that
Or
extraordinary.
been drunk. She's never been drunk.
Never
It
been
doesn't
drunk.
say she's never
My
drunk.
wife has never been drunk.
So
and-
she's pretty
and-
extraordinary. And she doesn't have a normal life either.
no, she definitely doesn't
married
after
to you.
marrying me.
It says, man, it's hard getting ready to meet Greta Thunberg. She's like an instant ethics audit mirror on legs.
Oh God.
10 minutes before I meet her, I have to Google to see if my secondhand top was created in a sweatshop. Wow. Wow. You don't give a shit about what you're wearing except for when you're
Yeah,
meeting
right.
a-
Yeah.
She's like, oh,
I
is
better
this-
make sure this isn't like made in China or something.
Yeah, talk about virtue signaling.
Yeah,
like
right?
self-admitted virtue signaling here. Chuck my half-finished can of hangover-curing Diet Coke in a bin and fret if it's
Wait,
obvious
does
that...
Diet Coke actually cure a hangover?
No. Well, I think she's saying she had a hangover.
Yeah.
And this is what she was going for.
Right.
And so this person, yeah. She's intentionally making herself look
Yes,
shitty.
yes.
So she can express how remarkable
yes.
Greta Thunberg is.
Yeah.
And she goes on to say, and fret if it's obvious that my Doc Marten boots are the leather ones rather than the far more acceptable vegan options.
Oh my God. Shoot this lady. And
I hate this so much.
the reporter. I think the reporter is more annoying to me than Greta Thunberg.
Oh, this reporter is clearly, hopefully British because of this next sentence. Meeting Greta Thunberg with world-destroying accessories is like when your kid smells fags on you. I would be devastated if I came home and my kid smelled fags on me. I mean, I'm just gonna.
Yes.
No, I'm not. I'm just gonna leave it at that. We don't have to pretend she's British. Like you imagine this
Yes.
however you want. But meeting Greta Thunberg with world-destroying accessories is like when your kid smells fags on you. Just take that for whatever
Yes.
it is. You can't bear that they will think less of you. You want to be a better person than sadly you really are. Is there any that does this ever get to a point? I do my first interview with Thunberg, currently in the absence of Iron Man, the only viable candidate fielded by humanity to save the entire world.
She's comparing Greta Thunberg to Iron
Yes,
Man.
because he's the only other viable candidate in humanity to save the entire world, and she is on par with Iron Man.
I'm
You know,
sure.
until her head gets crushed
Right?
by Thanos, I don't think she's
Yeah.
up there.
Right.
She to give a landmark. I think it's supposed to say she is to give a landmark speech to 250,000 people about instigating organized public intervention on global warming. Me to get a bit pissed up. What the fuck are they saying? She to give a landmark speech on 250,000 people. Me to get a bit pissed up on cider and see sugar babes. I don't even know
She's
what's
gonna
happening.
get drunk on cider and go see a band called Sugar.
Okay,
Babes.
well, she needs to learn how to speak.
Yes.
This is the only point in our schedule we can manage. She lives in Stockholm and won't give interviews to anyone who's flown out to see her. If you flew on a plane,
She
she ain't
see
giving.
you
Yeah,
because you're destroying the environment
Yes.
by flying.
it's absolutely fair that her principles mean you can only travel to see her if you've gone by rail or electric car.
Is she the fucking Dalai Lama?
Yeah, fuck this girl. Does it talk about why she's so extraordinary?
Yeah, or just the fact that this lady feels so guilty about going to see her.
What is she like? This extraordinary figure who, since the age of 15, has had the status of a stateswoman and prompted the biggest climate change protests in history. An estimated 4 million people across the globe on September 20th, 2019. I remember that day. My teenage girls went to the strike too. Was that after they smelled fags on you? London was brought to a standstill, called out by a girl people had never met, thousands of miles away. Courage calls to courage everywhere. Children stood in front of buses in on Waterloo Bridge and chanted, "No future, no change. They want things to stay the same." My kids came home high and giddy. That wasn't because of
The fags.
yeah, probably the fags, yeah.
Yeah.
They had never experienced anything like it. It was all people like us, they said. Everyone was our age. We all held hands and laid on the road. A policeman came over and whispered, "We're on your side, mate. Good on you." The whole world knows her name, including Donald Trump, who as president seemed personally enraged by her. When
Did he?
Thunberg was named Times Person of the Year after giving an impassioned, tearful speech, he said, "I shouldn't be up here." Or she said, "I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You've stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words." The most powerful climate denier in the world tweeted, "She seems like a very happy young girl, looking forward to a bright and wonderful future. So nice to see." Apparently that was Donald Trump.
Oh, gotcha.
Is there anything about the interview?
Right.
It goes on. When she enters the room, very small, barely 5 foot, in a t-shirt, jogging bottoms, and old vegan trainers shoes, I'm
How
guessing.
does she know that they're vegan?
I don't know. Because it's Greta Thunberg. Her hair was unbrushed. She has a very still, Quaker-like air. Everyone else is fluttering around, making small talk, but Thunberg clearly doesn't talk unless she needs to. It's not a saturnine silence like Emin Holmes on This Morning when he was peeved about a cookery item. What the fuck? Instead, it's an incredible stillness and self-possession. Maybe she just doesn't have anything to fucking say
Right.
besides the talking points that she was given by her daddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe she's just like, "Oh, if I open my mouth and it's not scripted, they're going to be exposed for the fraud that I am. So I have to stay on track and only say the things that
Yeah.
are on script." I've seen many people as they prepare to go on stage, pacing around, riding adrenaline, hectically joking, or else going so ferociously within that feels inappropriate to be around them. But, excuse me. By way of contrast, Thunberg has the kind of quiet power I've never seen in anyone else, particularly someone as young and alone. Maybe she's just a fucking robot. Did you ever think about that? Did you ever watch the Parks and Recreation episode where they're working for, a couple of them are working for a congressman. They're like working his campaign trail or something. And he's just a freaking drone robot. Like, when he's on, he's on. When he's off, he's literally just sitting there staring at the wall, not saying anything. But when people interview him, it's like, gee, it's a hot one out there. Make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure you show up for my, and like, just all like bubbly and like everything is just like his campaigning. Like, he's just like, oh, right. Make sure you show up tonight for the rally and make sure you hydrate. It's a hot one out there. And then he goes in his office and they look in and he's literally just standing there like staring at the wall. And they're like, maybe he's watching TV, and they like look around the corner. There's no TV. He's just like staring at the wall. And they ask his like assistant, they're like, what's wrong with him? And he's like, yeah, isn't he great? He's like the best politician to work for because when he's on, that's it. When he's off, you just don't have to, you just put him in a corner. And that's Greta Thunberg.
Yeah,
When
no
she's just
doubt.
a fucking robot that when she's on and on stage, she's on.
Yeah.
And then when she's off, you're just like, go charge your battery somewhere.
Yeah.
It goes on. Is there any point to this? It says, as Thunberg starts her walk towards the stage, a crowd of people, her friends, her book publishers, she has a book?
Yeah. You know she has to.
Her book publishers, Mary McCartney photographing her, Glastonbury organizers follow in her wake, but she walks ahead alone, holding the A4 God. I'm dying. Pages of her speech with the kind of authority actors try to embody when playing Elizabeth I or Joan of Arc. Visibly, she's a tiny, scruffy kid, but she walks like the person who can convene a galactic republic. She's like a cross between Princess Leia, another teenage girl with a big mission, and the Dalai Lama. There you go. She is the Dalai Lama. You asked. They answered. What part of what we are hearing here isn't completely 100% manufactured?
No,
From her look, like they intentionally have her go there in like bum clothes, like scruffy hair, and be like, oh, she's just like a normal girl that wants to get. Yeah, this is all marketing strategy.
Yeah, she's a fucking character that her parents created.
Yeah.
And that's all she is this caricature of Princess Leia and Dalai Lama. Her parents probably even told her, okay, this is what you want to go for. Princess Leia and the Dalai Lama.
The millions of online trolls, bots, and abusers, talk radio host Kevin O'Sullivan calling her a Swedish doom goblin. I love it. I'm using that from now on. The Swedish doom goblin calls for someone to grab her pigtails and her over the fence and Miss Trunchbull her over the fence. What does that even mean? Jeremy Clarkson calling her a little bucket of ego who needs a smacked bottom. That's creepy.
I was going to say, she's 19. You shouldn't say that.
No, you shouldn't at all about somebody else.
Yeah, right.
Helen Dale, the spectator looking forward to seeing Thunberg, have a meltdown on... God, this one's killing me. Having a meltdown on national telly. The president of the United States getting the audience at one of his rallies to boo the mention of her name when she was still just 17. What a ride the past few years have been. It goes on to say, I stand at the side of the stage as Thunberg walks on. Her mic fails. You spelled mic wrong. She's given another. The wind blows the sheets of her speech around. She continues unperturbed. Although this is a huge crowd of drunk people at a festival, she gives her speech to total silent concentration and attention, and several times to spontaneous, furious applause. This is not the new normal, she says to the roar. It has not only become socially acceptable for our leaders to lie, it is more or less what we expect them to do. You and I have given the historic responsibility to set things right. Together we can do the seemingly impossible. But make no mistake, no one else is going to do this for us. This is up to us here and now. You and me, we are approaching the precipice. Do not let them drag us another inch closer to the edge. Right now is where we stand our ground. I don't want to keep going with this.
Yeah, it's more the same.
This is all just this one person, like, knob gobbling
Yes.
Greta Thunberg.
Yeah,
And
on her knees.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how much did this person get paid to write this, first of all? Or is she really this infatuated with this caricature of I don't know. I don't know what we are going for here. I don't know what she's not saying anything
Yeah, right.
of value except this is being left in the laps of the young kids, and we got to do something. And it's just like, oh, yeah, you're right. We do got to do something, and it is up to the young kids. And it's just like, okay, what
Right.
What did you
wow,
do?
How profound.
Yeah.
How many young people feel this way, right?
Like, this is being pushed to the future, and you are the future. And it's,
And then a bunch of drunk people were like, and she's never been drunk. Woo!
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like you said, she's got no substance. She's just saying the same empty things that it's like Tommy Boy, right? Just kind of giving platitudes out there, right? Like, ask not what you can do for your country, right?
Right.
And people are like, yeah, like kill Whitey, I mean, it's just like,
Yes.
but I mean, it's this persona that she carries that her parents have created for her, and that's all she is.
She says in the interview, this is the first mention of the interview here, but she says, I would never go out drinking. I would never do anything stupid, and I don't know if that's because I'm that kind of person or if it's because I don't want to be seen. I guess it could be both.
Because her parents wouldn't let her.
Yeah, I mean, you're a freaking public figure.
She's not allowed to go out in public without her parents, like, babysitters and stuff.
So the interviewer says, is that because you are aware there are a lot of people who would be like, I want to be the person to get Greta Thunberg drunk? Yes, she laughed. And do you have the same worry about talking to a girl or boy you fancy, that everyone would be like, oh, look who Greta Thunberg is chatting up? It's just like, oh, you have an abnormal life because you're thrusted into the public spotlight? Oh, that is so intriguing to us. It's like, that's no different than any famous child out there.
Yeah, it's going to come out in about 10 years that she was probably beat and that she was forced to be a certain way.
Oh, she's going to go off the fucking rails. She's going to Amanda Bynes the shit out of her life.
Yeah.
She's going to go from like child, like the poster child of like the clean image like Amanda Bynes was, and then all of a sudden it's going to come out. It's oh, did you hear Greta Thunberg overdosed on cocaine and like
ran over 12 people and
while running naked through a freaking football field or something. I don't know. Something's going to come out. She's going to go off the rails. Absolutely.
But then they'll be like, it was the pressure of trying to save the world that did it.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Right?
Yeah, it's just like Greta Thunberg attempts to save the world, but can she save herself?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I can see the headlines already.
Absolutely.
Well, we got to move on because speaking of going off the rails.
Yes.
Kanye West continues to live off the rails.
Of course.
And I don't know what I think. I don't necessarily like Kanye or the things he says.
Yeah.
But I enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
Whether it's like watching a train wreck or I haven't decided if I'm watching a train wreck or watching this guy actually break down barriers that are put on the African American culture and stuff. Like when he was saying when he was all pro Trump, I was like, good on him, because everybody's calling him like anti-black or like a self-hating black guy, or what did they call the black racists?
Yeah, the self-hating.
Yeah, something like that. So he's just been interesting to watch one way or another. Well, his most recent off the rails thing that he did was to speak out against the Jewish people. And that to me, I mean, that everybody knows that is how you end your career completely. That is like the like there's a line and you can like dance on the line and then all of a sudden you jump over the line because you call out Jews for whatever reason. And obviously he's already got all this anti-Semitic hate. Like, well, obviously he's a racist because last week, remember, he wore the White Lives Matter shirt.
Right. Yes.
This week, he's talking about the Jews, which you can't talk about the Jews and stay on social media. So hopefully we stay on social media, even though we're just reading a report. I'm not even going to give my opinions on this because, well, I will. Anyway, this one says Kanye West's Instagram and Twitter accounts are locked over anti-Semitic posts. And his original posts, like his actual posts, aren't really all that anti-Semitic. They're not really all that bad. So it goes on. It says Kanye West has now had both his Instagram and Twitter accounts locked after anti-Semitic posts over the weekend. Twitter locked his account on Sunday after it removed one of his tweets saying that he was going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
What does that mean?
I don't know. First of all, it's not DEFCON, it's DEFCON.
Right.
So the fact that he accidentally mispronounced it and misworded it probably made them, this is obviously a death. He literally has the word death in there, so this is a death threat on the Jews. He goes on, obviously, he couldn't just leave it at that.
Of course.
He has to explain himself, which doesn't make it much better. He says, I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew. Also, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball whoever opposes your agenda. I'm assuming he's referring to Jewish people when he says you people or you guys. He says you guys and capitalized you.
You guys.
You guys.
So, but what does he mean, like black people are Jew?
There's like the whole theory that the original
tribes
are black, which I probably agree with that as well. And basically what he should have said is, you said for decades now that black people can't be racist. So obviously if you can't be racist, you can't be anti-Semitic. So as a black person, I can't be anti-Semitic. So I can say whatever the Jews, all I want.
Yes.
I mean, but he didn't go that far.
Yeah. But DEFCON 3 isn't even like...
That's not even that bad.
No,
it's
like middle of the road. It's like, we're going to, raise our shields.
Yeah, we're just going to... I mean, we're on edge a little bit here. He goes on... It goes on and says, the account in question has been locked due to violation of Twitter's policies. Which ones, though?
Yeah, they don't tell you anymore.
The social media company Meta also restricted West's Instagram account after the rapper made an anti-Semitic post on Friday in which he appeared to suggest that the rapper Diddy was controlled by Jewish people, an anti-Semitic trope. The controversial rapper, who legally changed his name to Ye, recently drew heavy criticism for donning a White Lives Matter. So now we obviously have to...
They have to tie the two together.
Yeah, we got to mix them all together because they go on to say that this is bad, obviously, because the Anti-Defamation League considers it a hate slogan. So not only do we have black Kanye West using white supremacist hate slogan, but also he's calling for DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. So obviously he's... white supremacist, the first black white supremacist I've ever met. Then he went on to Tucker Carlson. So there's that. He told Tucker Carlson that he thought the shirt was funny and the obvious thing to do. I agree with him 100%
thought it was funny
there.
too.
It's hilarious
Yeah.
and it's perfect in my opinion. If you want to piss people off, do that. He said, I thought the shirt was a funny shirt. I thought the idea of me wearing it was funny. And I said... Dad, why did you think it was funny? He said, just a black man stating the obvious. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's dad. I see, because he said all this shit, so I don't know.
Yeah.
During the same interview, West told Carlson that Jared Kushner, the Jewish son-in-law of former President Donald Trump, negotiated Middle East peace deals to make money. So obviously that's anti-Semitic because he called out Jared Kushner for trying to make money. But obviously he's Jewish, so that's anti-Semitic. If they would have called out anybody else in it, if they would have fucking called out Donald Trump in this, it wouldn't have been an anti-Semitic trope.
They would have been like, yeah, that's what we're saying.
Yeah. West was diagnosed with bipolar disorder several years ago. We gotta mention that part.
Yes.
So do you see a lot? Is this real problematic here?
No.
In today's culture,
No.
absolutely, but it's
problematic because again, you have a black man that is now going off the reservation.
well, yeah, yeah, absolutely. But he didn't stop there. Obviously,
Of course not.
after all the controversy with that, somebody at the Holocaust Museum invited him to visit the Holocaust Museum to make him feel shame for his
Right.
anti-Semitic tropes
Yeah.
there and be like, you can't say DEFCON 3 on the Jews because a lot of
the
us died.
Holocaust,
A lot
right.
of us died, so you can't say that. He rejected the invitation and said, no, I want you to visit Planned Parenthood. That's our Holocaust Museum.
Damn.
Right? I mean, he's going all in now.
No shit.
The rapper told the Drinks Champ podcast, repeating unaired comments from his interview with Tucker Carlson. So apparently Tucker Carlson was just like, we can't air that shit.
Yeah, right.
It's bad enough that even Tucker Carlson's like, oh, this is a little crazy. We can't show this. So he went on this podcast and repeated it. Says, goes on to say, we already read that. So it says that he echoed his unaired comments from the Tucker Carlson's interview where he said, known eugenics Margaret Sanger founded Planned Parenthood alongside the Ku Klux Klan to control the Jew population. West noted that his outburst came after the Dov Charney, the Jewish founder of LA Apparel, would not release his White Lives Matter t-shirt, widely condemned as racist, though West said it's because he's Jewish. West would later say, don't say fuck Black Lives Matter or you will be canceled by the Jewish media. So, I mean, he's all in on this now.
He's throwing everybody under the bus.
He's all in on he's going full
Yeah.
the Jews run the world scenario here.
Yes.
They've been fucking with me for too long. They put the crazy narrative out there. My Jewish trainer put when I went to the hospital in the press. This is my exact point. Jewish people have owned the black voice, whether it's through us wearing Ralph Lauren shirts or all of us being signed to a record label or having a Jewish manager or signed to a Jewish basketball team or doing a movie on the Jewish platform like Disney, West said, offering a new number of anti-Semitic tropes. I respect the Jewish people, what Jewish people have done, and how they brought their people together. They came into money through the lawyers after Wall Street when all the Catholics... They wouldn't divorce people, so the Jewish lawyers came and they were willing to divorce people. That's when they first came into money.
Wow. He's like diarrhea of the mouth with this.
I mean, he's all in.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he is not backing down at all.
Says with the darker Jews, the 12 lost tribes of Israel, who we are because we're Jewish also. We're from Africa also. We're the blood of Christ. We're not just black. We are Jew, just like the Jewish people, and now we're coming into money. West added, noting the existence of so-called Jewish business secrets. What?
I want to find out.
All this stuff is intriguing.
It
to
is,
me.
and I want to know how he came to this stream of thought. I want to know, like, okay, what did he read? What did he hear? Who did he talk to?
Well, I've heard all of
Oh,
this
I
shit.
have too, but that's why
But
I'm curious where he's coming up with this.
Or why he decided
right
now.
Right, why now?
After,
Yes.
if this whole, thing is set up the way he's saying it is,
Yeah.
and I'm not even going to go there
Right.
on this show, but if, right now anyway, I don't want to get deplatformed just yet,
Right.
but if it is what he says it is, why is he waiting till now to decide, I'm going to speak out against this?
Right, yeah.
Is it because does he feel like he has nothing else to lose at this point?
Or
Because
maybe he feels like he's
does he
too big.
I was going to say, or does he feel untouchable?
I think he feels untouchable.
If you feel untouchable, say the things that Kanye West is
Yes.
saying and see how untouchable you are. And that may alone get us
but
deplatformed.
I mean, you have conservatives that are going to flock to him, right?
Oh yeah. Well,
I
I
mean,
don't know
those that aren't
because
too scared.
I don't think conservatives, because a lot of
Well, I mean,
conservatives
Candace
are pro.
Owens was on his right side with the white.
Well, with the
side.
White Lives Matter,
You
but I
think the
think
Jewish
this,
thing
yeah,
changes
this
it.
might isolate them from that because Trump was all pro-Israel and
Yeah.
moving the embassy to
Right,
Jerusalem
and everything.
yeah, even I guess Trump has come out with some anti-Semitic stuff this week too, as far as. The Jews need to realize how much I did for Israel, and they need to vote for me and stop supporting Joe Biden. And they,
That's just typical.
yeah,
Trump
it's
stuff, though.
all self-serving shit.
Yeah,
because
right.
the headline was like, basically, American Jews need a wake-up call, and it was basically like I said, I did all this pro-Israel stuff and all this bigly stuff in Israel, and the U.S. Jews need to recognize that and vote for me because apparently a lot of them supported Biden
Of
back in
course.
2020. So, yeah, all self-serving. So.
Sure.
Not a big deal. So, but obviously they had to bring that up because they can tie it to Kanye West,
absolutely,
and
right,
then they
right.
can
He's got the Trump tie.
give this whole conservative, anti-Semitic viewpoint. When again, I think most conservatives are pro-Israel, so it makes not a whole lot of sense. But
Right.
you can't air out white supremacy without throwing a lot of anti-Semitism in there.
Right.
So, well, I mean, at least he's standing his ground on it.
Yeah. No, I'm pleased that he doubled down on it instead of trying to
instead of being
backtrack.
like, no, what I really meant was,
Right.
and I was on my sleeping like,
Yeah.
it pulled a Roseanne bar. It was like I was
Right.
taking a lot of Ambien, whatever it's called, Ambien. Is that what the sleep?
I think so. Yes.
It's like I took a lot of Ambien and then I said these stupid tropes.
Right. Right. Yeah. At least he had the balls
Yeah.
to kind of stand by it.
Yeah, whether it's stupid or not.
Yeah.
Good for him, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always been one to feel like, well, I'm going to stand against the grain. Do you think this is the one that pushes him too far, though? Do you think he gets knocked off his rockers with this one?
I do. I just feel like he's rocking the wrong boat now.
Yeah.
And but again, I don't want to see that. I want to see him keep pushing that narrative. Keep pushing it and
Well, I was gonna say he could just pull a Gina Carano and go work for
Ben Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro, but then I realized Ben Shapiro is Jewish,
Jewish.
so that won't work out too well for him.
Yeah, right.
So he didn't play his cards right. So
We'll have to keep an eye on Ye
Yes.
West and see what happens with him.
got a couple more things. We've got very little time left, so I'm gonna cover these really quick. Apparently, France pulled France again, which I'm fine with them doing this. I'm completely okay with this.
Well, we talked about it on Monday.
Yeah. Back to our Monday's talk about nuclear war and nuclear Armageddon and all that shit. French President Macron said that if Russia nukes Ukraine, he's not going to do anything about it. What are your thoughts? Do you think that's a shitty thing to say? Or
No, you know what? I think, well, number one, I don't think it'll matter. I think he'll get caught in the crossfire, regardless.
Yeah.
But second of all, if he's looking out for his people, that's probably the smartest thing he could say.
Well, it's basically, I don't want a fucking nuclear war.
Yeah, right.
He said, would France consider a tactical strike by Russia as a nuclear strike? France has a nuclear doctrine and lies in the nation's fundamental interests that are clearly defined. They wouldn't be questioned should there be a ballistic nuclear attack. So they go on to say, part of our deterrence, he was criticized by Defense Minister of the Netherlands, who cares, saying part of our deterrence is also not to speculate publicly on what kind of response and what kind of situation they would get. I mean, that is stupid on his part to be like, if you do this, no, we're not going to nuke you. He should just be like, I'm not going to say what I'm going to do.
Keep it close to the vest.
Yeah. That's pretty much what the Netherlands were saying.
Yeah, because now Putin's like, okay, that's one that's not attacking.
Yeah, he's like, I can mark that one off my list. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? I feel like we're gonna have to start saying freedom fries again. I feel like that's where this heads.
Yeah, well, and again, this isn't a big surprise. I mean, Macron has been very non-conflicting as far as Ukraine and Russia goes.
Yeah.
You know, he's been trying to be the peacekeeper between the two,
Yeah.
and trying to keep us from going into war.
He's the one that told Biden when Biden said, "Hey, we're close to nuclear Armageddon." He's like, "You can't say that.
Right. Yeah,
Stop saying that shit. Can we like try to de-escalate instead of So, I mean,
it's not a surprising response.
I don't have high regards for France, but when it comes to like the concept of de-escalating this shit, I feel like they've got a leg up on us.
Absolutely,
at least.
yes.
Speaking of countries that are responding to things, Sweden's response to the Nord Stream attack apparently is odd because they're refusing to share any data that they have on the attack. And they're opting out of the EU's investigation. Why do you think? What do you suppose? Do you think they know something?
Well, you would almost have to think that.
Or do you think they just want to remain the neutral Sweden? Maybe that's it. They're like, I don't want to get involved. I'm not going to say it was Ukraine, but I don't want to get involved. It says, according to Mats Ljungvitz, the Swedish prosecutor involved in the country's criminal investigation of the leaks in the Swedish economic zone. So they sent investigators there, but they're not going to do anything about it.
Of course.
So I want to know what they found. Says the country will not join Eurojust joint investigation team.
Eurojust?
Wow. Which would require them to share their findings with Germany and Denmark. Sweden notably reported the detection of underwater explosions on September 26, shortly after which large patches of roiling gas, I'm guessing rolling gas, could be seen on the surface in the same area. Nearly 2 weeks later, Sweden's domestic security agency said their initial investigation in the explosions had strengthened the suspicion of serious sabotage. So they're the ones that reported explosions. They're the ones that brought up, hey, our findings suggest some serious sabotage. Right. And then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we're out.
Yeah.
We don't want anything to do with this.
Right.
You guys do your thing, but
yeah, it makes you feel like they found out something, or somebody came to them and be like, okay,
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you need to back off this.
Yes. Eurojust, an EU agency which coordinates judicial cooperation in criminal matters among member state agencies, said the joint investigation team is one of the most advanced tools used in the international cooperation in criminal matters, compromising illegal agreements between competent authorities of 2 or more states for the purpose of carrying out criminal investigations. It says Sweden's concerns over joining the team, which typically take 12 to 24 months to investigate, is directly linked to national security. Ljungvitz remarks come after German news website Der Spiegel reported a similar situation, citing unnamed German security sources. It said that Sweden had rejected the idea of sharing information it covered from its probe into Nord Stream leaks with Germany and Denmark, saying that the confidentiality level of the results of its investigation was too high to share them with other states.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Maybe it exposes some of their tactics,
some of their
stuff.
Infrastructure, or something like that.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they got to reveal too many things.
Yeah.
Too many inner working parts with their system. I don't know. Says in Sweden there's secrecy around preliminary investigation, and that also applies in this case, said outgoing PM Magdalena Andersson in an October 11th statement. Swedish Security Service spokesman said they are working with other authorities, including internationally, as part of their own investigation. So it just sounds like they don't want to be part of that whole, because basically what it sounds like, once you're on the team, you have to reveal everything. And so
I see.
I wonder if they're like, yeah, we don't want to expose our everything like that.
Well, I don't really blame them for that.
Right.
Be like, look, I appreciate you guys wanting us on Team Eurojust, but we have some internal intelligence workings here that we just don't want to reveal to you guys.
Yeah, maybe they have, maybe it like puts some of their investigators at risk or something. Exposes.
They have some agents, across in different countries, and they're listening, kind of like the United States does.
Yeah, so whatever. I don't know. That's probably it. Or maybe they did find something that they're like, oh God, this can't get out. This will be really bad.
Yeah.
This might cause World War III. So who knows? I don't know. Good on them for standing up for
Yeah,
themselves.
I
Kind of
agree.
like Kanye West, I guess.
right.
Good on them for doubling down. Maybe they found out that Kanye West did it. Last but not least, we've kind of been in good terms with Saudi Arabia, like too good of terms with Saudi Arabia for a long time now.
Too good, yes.
Like too good, considering the fact that Saudi terrorists blew up supposedly our towers and,
right.
a lot
Yeah,
of shitty
and one
things.
of their favorite sons were, enemy number one for a while.
Yeah, exactly. So apparently that relationship is on a little on the edges, on the rocks right now between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
All because Saudi Arabia is wanting to control their own oil prices.
Yes.
So when oil prices go way down, it's good for us, it's bad for them.
Yeah.
When oil prices go up, it's bad for us, it's good for them.
Mm-hmm.
So now that oil prices are going up, the Biden administration has been trying to push them down as much as possible leading up to the midterms.
Yeah.
Well, Saudi Arabia has decided to raise their oil prices. Yeah. And Joe Biden, in the goodness, being the good leader that he is, wants the best for us,
Of course.
asked them to keep their prices down until the midterms.
Right.
I mean, it's just so telling what they're like. They don't even cover up their strategies anymore. It's just like, well, if we could just keep these oil prices
second
down.
week in November, feel free to go up as
that's
much
fine.
as you want, right?
Well, Saudi Arabia said, nah. And of course, this isn't going to let me read
Of
this
course.
because I got to pay for it. Even though when I clicked on it the first time, it said, enjoy this free article. But now I can't read it.
You know what it reminds me of is it's like you have somebody you're not really friends with, right? But they get some concert tickets.
Yeah.
And so you really want to go to this concert. So you're like their best friend. You give them missiles. You give them some special treats and stuff. Let their terrorist people go. And then all of a sudden you find out they're not going to share their concert tickets with you.
Yeah.
And then you're like, fuck you. And
You're the worst friend
I
ever.
want those terrorist people back.
Yeah, we were never your friends.
Yeah.
We were never friends with you. I don't even know why I've ever hung out
Yeah.
with you because you're such an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all. And there's obviously the self-serving part of the relationship. It's like, well, we need our prices down. So as soon as they say, no, this isn't good for our economy is taking shit for this.
Yeah.
Joe Biden's like, well, you're not invited to the G12 summit or whatever
Yeah,
you were
G20,
saying.
yeah.
The G20 summit. And it's just like, really? That's how? How?
We
like,
don't need your G20 summit. You know
Right.
what? China's got one. We're going to theirs.
like how shallow are our
I
fucking
know.
relationships with other countries?
Oh,
It's like,
it's completely
What?
yes.
well, in Saudi Arabia's defense, apparently over a while ago, when their prices were at an all-time low and it was really hurting their economy, they asked the U.S. for support, and the U.S. didn't do a damn thing. So now, when the U.S. wants them to, they're like, nah, fuck you.
We're good.
Nah,
We're good.
nah.
Yeah.
And again, the fact that they're openly saying, can you just keep them down until the midterm elections?
Yeah.
I mean, that should be enough for people
Right,
to
yeah.
see through this. Whatever facade is still there,
Yeah.
whatever freaking mask they still like. I mean, it's pretty damn see through and like full of holes and shit now. But whatever's still there, you gotta be like, is there still people out there that are like, oh damn, with the Democrats in office, you see the oil prices went
right.
down like 40 cents this
Yeah.
year. It's like, after they went up like $3 over the
right,
last 2
yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Oh, but right before elections, they've gone. Just like,
Well, it's
do they
because of
really
the-
buy this shit now?
No. Oh, yeah. There are people that do. There is, but they're like, oh well, it wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't for Russia. Being in Ukraine, that's not Biden's fault. He can't control that.
But now, obviously, Saudi Arabia is the bad guy
Yeah,
in all of
course.
this.
There's always somebody other.
But then you got to realize that's what happens when we are solely dependent on foreign oil
Yeah.
because the same guy shut down all our oil here.
Yeah.
So obviously, whether it's for their own economic good or just because they want to be assholes, they can do whatever the fuck they want with their oil.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like,
what happens when you're dependent on someone else.
you know what? We just want to raise our exports, our tariffs on oil right now. And it's just like, whoa, you can't do that. It's like, it's my fucking oil. I can do that. And it works out really great for our country too. We get a lot of money. You think the Saudi Arabians care that much about the U.S. economy over their own economy?
No. Now that the Bushes are out of office.
Well, yeah.
They got.
Is there anybody really working with Saudi Arabia like the Bushes were?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't know. With Poppy Bush dead, is there much? I mean,
Nobody
do they
wants
have
Jeb?
Nobody wants Jeb, and
what about Jenna? Is she still?
I don't know what she's doing these days, but I don't care. Yeah. Hopefully, she's doing nothing. GW I saw is giving like some sort of like leadership course online you can take. Yeah.
Really, a leadership course?
A leadership course.
Wow.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
Yeah, I laughed when I saw he had like a little YouTube clip advertising it, and it was quite funny. So, anyways, what do you think of all this, everything that's going on? Donut Bears,
Yeah.
Yeezy,
Yeah.
Yee, whatever his name is.
West. Yeah. Greta Thunberg. It's always interesting to see these cults of personality and just how they try to exist in
Just-
their own little bubbles.
Yeah, just freaking riding the wave of popularity. I mean, that's Greta Thunberg is just riding that climate change wave. That is not. I mean, she's nothing.
No.
And then you got Kanye, he's not riding the wave. He's making his own waves.
Yes.
Whether it's a good wave or a tsunami
He
that's
doesn't
just going
care.
to drown
As long-
himself.
As long as his people's watching those
Yes,
waves.
exactly. Watch this.
Yeah.
He's a class example of, hey, everybody, hold my beer, watch this.
Yeah.
And
Did
everybody's
you hear
like,
him? He come out and was like, I was so shocked to see how close my wife and her family are with the Clintons. And they're like, well, how close is she? And they're like, and he's like a cell phone call away. Like they called her and they're like, hey, we really need you to push the vaccines. And so
he said that?
Oh yeah, yeah,
whoa.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah,
Okay, he's really looking for a bullet.
yeah. Right.
That's all the time. We are way over our hour a lot of time. So let us know what you think about all the stuff.
Yes.
I mean, we covered quite a bit of things here.
There was quite a bit. Yeah.
A lot of bullshit in the news. Share this far and wide across the interwebs because that's how we become bigger and better. And we can ride that wave and make our own waves.
That's right.
Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Make sure you show up tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for our main episode, which is always a fun time. 7 p.m., like I said, right here. Make sure you invite your friends, your grandmas, your cats, whatever.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. Just invite them
Yes.
all.
A friend reached out last week and said they really enjoyed our show.
Good.
And on the nuclear Armageddon.
Good.
And I was like, yeah, those are usually our lighter episodes.
Yes, exactly. So make sure you show up for that. It's always a good time. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your weekend. The few hours that we have left, go do something. Go stand in the grass or something. Enjoy life, I guess.
Yes.
Have a great rest of your weekend, whatever. Just have a great thing. Just have greatness in all of your life.
You.
Yes,
Be like Greta.
exactly. We'll catch you next time.
Peace.
Goodbye.
The Break the Bell podcast is brought to you by you. So pat yourself on the back because without you, we would be talking to ourselves. A special thanks to our Patreon members, Justin Zielinski, Remzo Martinez, Stephanie Parker, and T.O. Jacobson. A shout out to our sponsors, Run Your Mouth Coffee, the On the Run podcast, and Goulash Media. If you'd like to help support us, visit patreon.com/breakthebell or buy our garbage at breakthebell.bigcartel.com. Get back here next week and let us continue to invade your ear holes. And as always, never stop talking.